Last night, we exposed Democrats' growing distrust of democracy, especially of voters in red state America, whom liberals view with total and utter contempt. Well, socialism is a hard sell in flyover country. It's one of the reasons Elizabeth Warren chokes every time she's asked whether Medicare for All will raise taxes on the middle class, because she knows it will.
Direct question, will middle-class taxes go up to pay for the program?
Look, what families have to deal with is cost, total cost. That's what they have to deal with.
How are you going to pay for it? Are you going to raise the middle-class taxes?
Costs are going to go up for the wealthiest Americans, for big corporations.
Taxes, what do you mean by cost?
Yeah,
okay.
And hard-working middle-class families are going to see their costs go down.
Democrats know their policies are not going to lead to a stronger economy. Certainly it's not going to be stronger than Trump's. They don't even bother trying to make that case anymore. Instead, they find themselves reverting to the old Hillary Clinton playbook. In other words, if you aren't confident you can win on the merits, undermine the process. And if you lose, don't accept the outcome as legitimate. Work to undermine its legitimacy by any means necessary. There are 4 key facts that demonstrate how the Democrats used foreign powers, deep state actors, and targeted leaks to tamper with the election of 2016. And they're not finished yet. Fact number 1. In April of 2016, it was the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC that hired Fusion GPS, which funded the research in that phony dossier. They relied on a British spy, a foreign agent, Christopher Steele, to compile what they considered damaging information on Donald Trump and his campaign. Much of it, of course, unverified and ultimately discredited. But that didn't matter to them.
That Christopher Steele dossier says that Cohen was integrally involved in interacting with Russians in that election interference effort and trying to cover it up.
Go back to the fracking Christopher Steele dossier. How was Russia reportedly trying to compromise and cultivate Donald Trump for years? By offering him lucrative real estate deals.
First of all, there's the question of whether there's the tape that exists that was brought up in the Steele dossier, which is, by the way, looking better and better.
Well, they passed the allegations along to powerful anti-Trump interests in the government, from John McCain to the FBI, and sought to open up an investigation of any and all figures near candidate Trump. What did someone once call it? An insurance policy. That's right. Fact number 2. The Democrats used the FBI and the Obama DOJ to peddle the foreign source dossier to the FISA court to secure warrants against Trump's advisors like Carter Page. Former FBI Director Jim Comey and his deputy Andrew McCabe tripped over themselves running to the FISA court that ultimately permitted them to surveil American citizens. And then the same deep state actors started leaking info to friendly media.
We've had reporting in recent months that George Papadopoulos was involved in trying to set up meetings with Russian government officials, including Vladimir Putin, for candidate Donald Trump. We know Carter Page was considered by the FBI to be potentially a knowing Russian agent. You could see why the Mueller inquiry might be looking for communications related to them.
Ooh. Fact number 3. Democrats used foreign agents to do their dirty work in 2016. Well, do you remember how George Papadopoulos, a low-level Trump volunteer, got roped into this entire drama? In April of 2016, he had a conversation with this man, Joseph Misfud, a professor from Malta with long-standing ties to the State Department. The good professor tried to tempt Papadopoulos, claiming that the Russians had dirt on Hillary. Well, not exactly a political sophisticate, Papadopoulos then repeated that information to this man, former Australian ambassador Alexander Downer. Stay with me here. Now, according to reports, the meeting with Downer was set up by people Papadopoulos didn't even know. Papadopoulos later accused Downer of recording their conversations. How convenient. And somehow those conversations made their way to the deep state channels and became the predicate for the entire investigation into Team Trump. And it all happened courtesy of 2 foreign actors, an Aussie and a Maltese. We're not talking about a cute puppy. But now the Democrats, they're telling us they're worried about foreign intrusion in elections? Fact number 4. When the Mueller probe fizzled, Democrats needed a backup and quick, and they thought they found it. Democrats prayed and hoped that Robert Mueller would unearth something, anything, to justify the impeachment of Donald Trump. Well, basically found nothing.
I have to say that far from breathing life into the report, he kind of sucked the life out of the report.
I was struck by the enormous personal contrast between Robert Mueller and Donald Trump.
I think he's out of legal jeopardy. I hate to say it. And you are putting my blood vessels at risk. But okay. I think my hunch is he has gotten away with it.
Which brings us to the present. The Democrats know the Department of Justice is actively investigating the deep state's machinations in 2016 and the role played by the foreign actors we've just told you about. They will do anything to destroy not only the president, but Attorney General Bill Barr and the State Department on the brink of uncovering their election tampering.
I thought Pompeo was just an ambitious guy. Now I'm finding out that he, like William Barr, are Trumpian.
One would think, with all that's going on, Bill Barr, I don't want to sound sassy, but globetrotting on an issue that's highly personal to the president doesn't really seem like the job function of the Attorney General. It seems like, I don't know, someone from Trump's 2020 re-election campaign.
Bingo.
Now, what the media is missing in the much-discussed call with the Ukrainian president is that Trump requested Ukraine's cooperation to investigate not only wrongdoing by the Bidens, but the entire deep state as well. In other words, the president's working to uncover election meddling. I thought that's what the Democrats wanted. Just today, the Daily Beast reports that Barr traveled to Rome to listen to a secret recording of a deposition by Professor Mifsud. The Attorney General is clearly closing in on the foreign players from 2016. Come on, this all explains why the Democrats are freaking out, and they are so determined to stop Trump and smear Barr. They've bet, I think, that it's safer to sully Trump with bogus accusations than finally face the music themselves. A true investigation of their actions to interfere in a presidential election using foreign actors, phony information, and a complicit deep state. And that's the angle.